Hello, my name is Travis and I am the personal representative of my mother's estate. I am not an attorney. My mother lived in Florida, as do I, and that has subjected us to a horrible law designed solely to benefit the medical insurance industry and the medical practitioners in Florida. What I am about to reveal regarding this Florida law applies not only to Floridians, but also to visitors of Florida. So tourists, take heed. This law has only four criteria, and when met, the constitutional right of redress via the courts are denied. The criteria are: the person was single, the person has no children under the age of 25, which classifies any children as adult children, the person was over the age of 24, and the person died. The Florida statute, which is so deadly to Floridians and visitors of Florida, is Florida Statute 768.21, subsection 8. Subsection 8 reads, "The damages specified in subsection 3 shall not be recoverable by adult children, and the damages specified in subsection 4 shall not be recoverable by parents of an adult child with respect to claims for medical negligence as defined by statute 766.106, subsection 1. So what does subsection 3 and 4 entail? Subsection 3 reads, "Minor children of the decedent and all children of the decedent, if there is no surviving spouse, may also recover for lost parental companionship, instruction, and guidance, and for the mental pain and suffering from the date of injury. For the purposes of this subsection, if both spouses die within 30 days of one another as a result of the same wrongful act or series of acts arising out of the same incident, each spouse is considered to have been predeceased by the other." Subsection 3 deals with what the children may recover for the medical negligence enacted upon their parent. Subsection 4 reads, "Each parent of a deceased minor child may also recover for mental pain and suffering from the date of injury. Each parent of an adult child may also recover for mental pain and suffering if there are no other survivors." Subsection 4 deals with what the parents may recover for the medical negligence enacted upon their child. But let's revisit subsection 8. "The damages specified in subsection 3 shall not be recoverable by adult children, and the damages specified in subsection 4 shall not be recoverable by parents of an adult child with respect to claims for medical negligence as defined in statute 766.106, subsection 1. Subsection 8 excludes adult children, which are the children over the age of 24, from any recovery by means of claim for medical negligence, and it excludes parents from any recovery by means of claims for medical negligence. This is what gives so much protection to the medical personnel and medical facilities. You cannot bring a claim against them for anything but death-related expenses. Also remember, and this is critical, this law only provides the financial and legal benefit to the medical professionals and the medical facilities if the patient dies. The patient must die. Plain and simple. Oh, and guess who gets to fill out the death certificate and avoid a medical examiner's investigation? Now you know the law. Imagine that you're a medical professional and you just screwed up on a widow or widower, a divorcee, or a young adult who has yet to marry their crush. Let's say you extubate your patient moments after open heart surgery by mistake. You would think that the standard medical care dictates that you would reintubate your patient and put them back on their original course of recovery. Sounds logical and medically sound. But wait, if your patient recovers, as one would expect, you are possibly going to be subjected to a medical malpractice lawsuit, and that could cost you. So you think, what can I do to save myself? Simple. You do nothing. You leave your patient without proper respiratory support provided by the ventilator as previously prescribed and let them take their chances on their own. Maybe you give them a nasal cannula with some supplemental oxygen to make it look like you're trying. If your patient does survive, then maybe you lucked out because now you can argue that your patient could have survived without the ventilator, and thus removing the ventilator was the correct course of action. But you're still exposed to a potential and financial legal inconvenience and cost. Then again, if your patient doesn't survive, well, Florida law 768.21, subsection 8, protects you from financial and legal exposure because the surviving family members, who are all over the age of 24, cannot take you to court and cost you financially. Sounds absurd, but this is the law. Now you're thinking, criminal charges can be filed. Maybe. How often do you hear criminal charges, let alone convictions, of medical professionals in the news? State prosecutors rarely prosecute medical malpractice cases. That is just fact. I know by looking at my mom's medical chart that my mother was a victim of medical malpractice. There are at least 2 events in my mom's chart that I believe qualify as adverse events, and the least disastrous of the 2 was the event for which I found an adverse event record. I discovered this by way of filing a Florida Amendment 7 request. I truly believe that the medical professionals and medical facility allowed my mom's medical care to be influenced by Florida Statute 768.21, subsection 8, because this law provides both financial and legal protections for both medical professionals and medical facilities if their patients die after a medical negligent event has occurred. Statute states the patient is to be notified of adverse events as soon as practical. With the report filed the same day as the event, I feel it was practical to have been notified the same day. Had my mom been notified, she could have chosen to go to a better medical facility with better medical professionals. Their decision to not notify my mom denied her her civil rights. At this point in time, I'm not going to disclose which cardiologists, anesthesiologists, pulmonologists, respiratory technicians, nurse, or hospital facility was involved. I want you all to wonder about the medical care you received where you currently exist, because I can guarantee you that these medical errors are not isolated. My father was misdiagnosed and he died. I lost both my parents due to medical negligence. While we all can agree that medical negligence happens everywhere, Florida is the only state with statute 768.21, subsection 8, that denies you your rights while making it beneficial for your healthcare providers to let you die if they err. Please, if you are in Florida, contact your representative and demand that they repeal Florida statute 768.21, subsection 8. I will go so far as to ask that you also demand that they make the repeal retroactive for 2 years from the date of passage so that families who have lost loved ones can seek justice for their fallen. If you live outside of Florida but plan to visit Florida in the future, please contact the representatives of the areas that you would visit and ask them to repeal Florida statute 768.21, subsection 8. This law denies you of your rights while in Florida, so you too have skin in this game. Also, if I may ask, and if you are able, would you consider going to the fundraiser site I have set up for my mom's estate? We are in jeopardy of losing our mother's home. It is nearly paid off but needs repair to be rentable so that it would be self-sustaining. If I could get a Florida expert witness of the proper medical field to certify this case, I could go to court for the death-related expenses and lost wages of my mom that I am allowed to go after. These would help keep the home and accomplish some repair. The fundraising site is help4ourmom.com. The 4 is the number 4. Help4ourmom.com. There you will first read about how my mom was defrauded of my dad's life insurance by an investor. The life insurance was to provide for my mom after my father died, and its theft literally left my mom penniless. On the fundraising site, after the fraud court case, you will find more details of this medical story. Again, the site is help4ourmom.com. Help4ourmom.com. The family would greatly appreciate your help and consideration. Thank you.